Howdy, y'all.
Hi, guys.
It's Ryan
And Angela.
from WEREFOOT
And RNA Music.
and RNA Music, your favorite mom and pop music lesson studio and occasional guitar shop
Yeah.
deep in the heart of Texas, which is where we are at right now. And it's time for episode 305
Woo.
of ASK RNA,
That's a good number.
where we answer your questions.
Can't wait till we get to 350.
350, episode 350 of ASK RNA. Well, that'll be in about a year.
Yeah.
Roughly a year we'll be in episode 350. So, all right, let's get to the questions. Welcome back, you guys. All right, again, if you are new here, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Angela.
And we own a music lesson studio in a small town in East Texas, and we teach lessons
Yeah.
to kids and adults. And then we also do sell stuff from our little guitar shop when there's stuff to sell. Right now, things are crazy, and you can't even get product. It's not just in the guitar industry, it's in
It's across the board.
every industry. You can't hardly get anything because of supply chain issues and whatever. Anyways, that's what we do. If you would like to get some swaggy swag, you cannot get a WEREFOOT shirt from me, but you can get an RNA Music t-shirt. We have a little Teespring store down in the description of this video. Go click on that link, get you some leggings,
Stuff and things.
socks, cuppy cups, t-shirts of various designs. If you like to wear a t-shirt from a little bitty mom and pop guitar shop in Texas.
Yeah.
If you live in Maine, people are like, what the heck is RNA Music? And they were like, that's this place in Texas. All right, anyways, go check that out if you want to. And let's get to the questions. All right, so excited. Oh yeah, thumbs up, subscribe, get your comment
All that
fingers
good
ready. Comment, 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 comment.
Pop it up, pop it up.
Help out the algorithm, crapola,
Yeah.
YouTube, corporate, whatever. All right, first question, Terry Starks. Hi, Terry. Ryan and Angela, what exactly is in us that makes us only want a Les Paul or a Strat?
I know. I think it's weird.
Growing up, it was Ford and Chevy. Then it went to Drive American or Japanese. Then it went to Strat or PRS. Strat, I don't understand the reason we limit ourselves to one thing so passionately when there is good in everything. What is wrong with us? Oh, and I love the show. Thanks for all y'all do. Thank you, Terry. Well, you know, there are more options now than there have ever been.
Yes.
And there are more guitar manufacturers now than there have ever been. But I feel like, you know, at the birth of rock and roll, and there were a couple of other companies, but essentially Gibson and Fender were the companies that were there when rock and roll was born, essentially. And through the 60s and 70s and 80s, it's like all of our, you know, guitar heroes and heroines, the majority of them played Gibsons and Fenders.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's just etched in our brain that it's like, Clapton plays a Strat.
That's just what
Strats
you
are
do.
cool. Jimi Hendrix played a Strat. I want a Strat.
Right.
Or Jimmy Page played a Les Paul. I want a Les Paul. Joe Perry played a Les Paul. You know, all of the iconic musicians. You know, those are the brands they played, and so it's definitely etched in our psyche. Like that's what I want
That's
to
what
do.
cool people do.
That's why do people buy Nikes? You know, why do people buy Jordans? You know, because
They
Michael
want to
Jordan.
be like Mike.
I want to be like Mike. I want to be like Jimmy Page. I want to be like James Hetfield. So I think that's probably why. But you know, more people now. It's better now than it's ever been. I mean, yes, people still buy Fenders and Gibsons, and I think it's still etched in our psyche that we kind of have been brainwashed into like those are real guitars. You know, but there are more brands than ever. PRS is super strong in the branding thing. Lots of amazing, iconic players play PRS, and there's a ton of people playing all kinds of stuff. But I think as things go on, Terry, people are a little bit less and less and less obsessed, maybe with those brands. But
I think everybody's going to be like that because, like you said, their favorite person plays XYZ or looks a certain way. You know, it's like wearing ripped jeans and a crazy t-shirt or having your hair shaved or, you know, wearing bandanas on your head. There's certain things that just, because certain people do it, you just do it.
Licking the microphone like David Lee Roth. Not going to do that. But I ain't wearing spandex. That's probably not going to happen.
That was one of the things that I'm glad didn't catch on. That men were like, yeah, I like your song, dude, but nah.
Tiger spandex pants. That's...
the big hair was big, was the thing for a while with guys, but not so much where it like lasted into where that's all we remember guys wearing in the 80s.
Yeah. Denim is fine. Like denim,
right?
Jackets.
Yeah. Like there's certain things that are
You're not wearing your tiger stripe spandex.
I'm not going that far, but I'll do that.
To Walmart. I'm not. And thank God guys don't do that.
But it's just because people, we admire them. Mm-hmm. There's sentimental value to it, and that's just what we cling to sometimes.
Emotional connection. Mm-hmm. And memories, right?
Yeah.
Great question, Terry. You guys and gals, what do y'all think? Tell us below what you think. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us?
Or you have some more
insight. Have another perspective, a different point of view. Thank you, Terry. Next question. Speaking of Fenders and Gibsons, Fat Philosopher, #giant black hobbits. I'm not really a big fan of strap locks. I would rather manufacturers would use decent sized strap buttons that straps are not prone to slipping off. Mm-hmm. What manufacturers do you think make the best strap buttons? That's a great question, Fat Philosopher. That is an amazing question, and I have an answer for you because I own a couple guitars, and almost every single one of them has strap locks. Mm-hmm. I get the dual design strap locks that Dunlop makes because the button on it,
easy release.
If you don't want to use the strap lock part of it, the button itself is pretty oversized. Mm-hmm. Like you could just use it as a strap button, and it's big enough. Your guitar's probably not going to slip off. So the dual design Dunlop versus the original Dunlop strap lock.
Right.
So I like those, but I will show you. I have two guitars that I do not have strap locks on. Mm-hmm. And the first one is my USA custom shop. Now, I'll have to do some close-ups. I'll do some B-roll here, but the strap button on this American-made USA custom shop Washburn is redonkulous. I mean, it's big. It's big.
It looks like a button.
Yeah. And now I can easily get this strap on there that I handcrafted, made strap. But it's got really oversized buttons compared to your typical Fender or Gibson.
Right.
With their wimpy little buttons. This is insane. So I've never ever bothered to put strap locks on this lovely beast. Hold that one up for me. Right, and then the other the other is my PRS S2, and the strap button on this thing is no joke. Like it's legit actually kind of hard to get the strap on there, and it is very oversized. So it's not coming up. Yeah,
it's like a disc.
Yes.
It is. Yeah, it is pretty. It's on there.
That strap is on there. So this is on the USA PRS S2, but I'm assuming, I don't remember last time I was at Art's. Speaking of PRS's, Art, our friend, he has a couple of USA, he has like a Tremonti and like a few other ones. Mm-hmm. I don't remember looking at the strap buttons on his, but at least on my USA S2, it is freaking huge strap buttons. So PRS knows what's up. Washburn, they don't really make USA guitars anymore. They sold off. When they got bought out by the last corporate buyout, they sold off like everything in Chicago. The stuff for making USA Randall amps, all the machines for making USA Washburns. So if you get a USA Washburn, Michael Sweet was playing them or something, and they're like, hey, USA Washburn. I'm like, who's making that?
Right.
Y'all literally closed down the shop. So they're farming it out. That's ghost build. Anything right now that's USA Washburn is ghost built. Mm-hmm. They farm it out. But back in the day, it's some mega buttons. But currently, PRS is probably winning, I would say, with stock strap buttons. These guitars, so nice. Thank you, Fat Philosopher. Great question. Yeah, those PRS ones are legit. Mm-hmm. Next question. Oh wait, yes. Next question. Walking Dead. Ryan, if you came across a 1975 lawsuit Ibanez LP for a good price, would that act as an acceptable replacement for that Les Paul Custom? I have actually been thinking of going that route myself lately. We talked last week about birth year guitars, and
Yeah.
My great white whale that I'm hunting is a 75 Les Paul Custom. Gibson Les Paul Custom is what I kind of want because I was born in 75 and all that. And so Walking Dead brings up a good point. Because back then you could get an Ibanez. My friend Pete had like a 75, I think it was an Ibanez, but it was like a bolt-on neck. Like a Les Paul Custom, a copy. Would that suffice? No. It would be cool, but I'm like, I would still want the Gibson USA 1975 Les Paul Custom, because going back to Terry's question, we've been brainwashed to believe that only a Gibson is good enough, or only a USA Fender is good enough, and all that kind of stuff. So I know deep down I would still be like, yeah, this is cool, but it's not what I want. Which kind of, this is pretty crazy. I did not plan it this way, because I literally just now, before we did this, I forgot to go comment of the day. So right before we did this, I'm like, oh yeah, wait, final comment of the day. Stuck it in there. And this kind of leads into that. So it would be cool, and if one was super cheap, I'd probably grab one, but it would not be in place of hunting for the 75 Les Paul Custom. Great question, Walking Dead, which kind of leads us into, crazy enough, I did not plan this.
I know.
Comment of the day.
Comment of the day.
Comment of the day. I like this. Comment of the day. Walking Dead 1369.
Look at there.
Winning. I did not do this. Promise. She watched me last second put this in. It says, well, Ryan, if you want to get Angela that 78 Trans Am, all Bandit style, it might make up for all those guitars. LOL. I know a guy. Yeah. So, Walking Dead works somewhere where they restore like old Trans Ams and stuff. So, how crazy is that? We actually do kind of know somebody who could give us the inside track to a 78 Trans Am.
Right.
Who would have thought that making YouTube videos for this long, it's about the connections you make. But we were just talking about this at the house. And what did you say about your mom and her friend?
Yeah, it's my mom's best friend from high school, because my mom graduated in like 76 or something like that, 75, 76, maybe 74. But her friend Kathy had a 77, 78 Trans Am, but it was like dark blue with a baby blue Firebird on the front. And I was like, well, actually, we've done some research, and they have a bunch of those if you want. There's people that are selling white ones with red Firebirds and blue ones, baby blue ones, and what, I was like, that's great, but that's not the point.
That's not what you want.
It's not what I want. It's not the fact that it's a Trans Am.
And even just a 78 Trans Am.
Yes, and just a 78 Trans Am. It has to be the black Trans Am with the gold Firebird.
Has to be the Bandit.
It has to be the Bandit. So, it's not the same, because that's not the point. The point isn't just, it's like we were saying, we actually had this conversation, like you said.
Literally this morning.
It's not because it's just a Les Paul. It's not because it's that year. It's because it's the look, the year, the everything. It's the whole package that you want. Because again, going back to Terry's question, it's the nostalgia of sitting and watching Smokey and the Bandit, and just having that kind of, seeing that car that just branded on my brain as a kid. And I remember being like 4 or 5 years old, whenever I would pretend to be driving, we would play like Cops and Robbers or something like that, I would be driving in my mind a Trans Am,
because that's how you evade the popo.
Yeah, so like I remember that like very distinctly as a kid. Even when I got like Barbie cars, or if I had, any kind of thing.
Spray painted in black
like
and drew a gold Firebird.
I would imagine it as that. I didn't imagine it as a General Lee, which was also an iconic car, as kid. I didn't think of it as Kit. I thought of it as the Trans Am, like Bandit. So, so to have that, like walking out like of my house and seeing it parked in my driveway would just be like, I would be like, just life set, just game, set, match, all of it.
Yeah, you're like, we have achieved
Nirvana. I'm good. you know, you'll never hear from me again. I'm just kidding.
And I can buy all the guitars I want.
I'll be driving through the country, just hopefully not getting pulled over by the police.
They couldn't catch you. We would get
I
a
would
super.
not outrun the police.
No, we get a turbocharged, like super. Like under the hood, it's a super modern engine.
Yes. It has like GPS and all this stuff on the inside.
Stealth mode.
Yeah.
So
could I combine kit and the Trans Am and get the light and the front?
I don't think you would want to, but it's possible. Everything's possible, but why would you do that?
I'm just saying that'd be fun to like.
Yeah. So, anyways, Walking Dead. Their comment of the day, but that actually it's crazy how all of those questions just steamrolled into each other there. So thank you, Walking Dead. Comment of the day goes to you, sir. Send me an email about Firebirds. All right, next question. Kurgel Kreutzer, question for next week. Is WEREFOOT planning to make a record/EP/singles, and how are they doing these days? Hashtag giant black hobbits. Hashtag. Okay. I actually sent this, I screenshotted that and sent a picture of it to my man Adam Lamar, who is also in the band WEREFOOT. Along with myself. Let me see Adam's. Okay, I'm going to read you the response from Adam. He says, actually talked to Dave this week. Dave is the drummer. So Adam obviously is he's the voice, the singer, writes a majority of the riffs, music. Dave is sort of I don't want to say the Lars to Adam's James, because that would kind of be insulting to Dave, I feel like. Moving on. Anyway, he's an integral part of the. There you go. He's the Vinny to Adam's dime. Well, I'll put it that way. Okay. Okay. That's fine. So Dave's drummer says, actually talked to Dave this week. Short answer is nothing until 2022. What month? Who knows? We're all focused on other stuff, but the desire to finish writing our page and metal history book is strong collectively. I've got to find time to work on it first. This 30 days has almost killed me. He's been doing like a 30-day fitness health challenge thing. But I'm a dog through the sessions and say what I can. The record, everything for the second EP. Then record everything for the second EP. Then have Dave come do drums for everything. Originally they were going to do a 3 EP thing, like a little trilogy. That was the idea. They have scrapped that. So when it's done, it'll be one self-titled 10-song album. Be a nice end cap to that band. Dave is down, but we got to see what the rest of the dudes are at the time. But we'd like to play a handful of reunion shows around DFW, Austin, Houston, NAC, maybe New Orleans, because they got some fans in New Orleans, right? So that's the thing. And I was like, nice. I was like, so is that up for when you're done? Is that it for the band? He's like, no idea. Yeah, he's not sure. Maybe we'll see how it goes, because they're all kind of in different directions now. Adam lives in Austin. The rest of the guys, I believe, are in Dallas, and one's in Nacogdoches. So if you know anything about Texas, which you may or may not, those are pretty far apart. Everybody's in different areas now, doing different things. Adam plays in a band with some guys in Austin. Like he's like a much bigger known band. He plays with those guys, and then the other guys have a band. So everybody's all kind of spaced out. So, but I keep hounding them, or I keep texting Adam at least. I'm like, so WEREFOOT EP album, what's going on? How's your album coming? Hashtag. So it's looking like probably 2022. And of course, my question was like, so, and then that's it? Y'all are going to be like done, or what's going to happen after that? Right. And Adam has ideas about another completely new band that he might want to do, but he didn't say, no, that's over. Right. Which I'm kind of like, you've already done a lot of work and a lot of gigs and a lot of stuff, to get at least the name and the logo and the t-shirts and stuff out there. So if it were me, and if the new band is going to write similar material, I was like, I would just continue as WEREFOOT. And if you need to replace some people because people can't be involved, then happens all the time. There's a ton of huge bands that in their formative years, players came and went. I mean, Metallica went through a couple of dudes. There's a bass player before Cliff. There was, various lead guitar players But that's straight from the non-bearded
Horse's mouth.
The non-bearded Adam's mouth. Yeah.
Right.
So there you go, Kurgle. Just know that I'm here in the background, like picking. Hey. So you need some help recording stuff?
Right.
Do you need me to come down to Austin and do some things? I don't know, just be there and whatever.
Stuff and things.
So I'm pushing because I want them to freaking put out the CD.
Right.
It'll be
Just
great.
do it.
Just do it, and do it on vinyl. That'll be super rad. So that I can play it on my record player.
Yay.
There you go, Kurgle Creature. Thanks for the question. I'm sure Adam will pop up now and
add something
to that. But all right, here we go. Next question. Just Fun Guitar. Hashtag KTMA. Hashtag Ask RNA. Hashtag David Crockett. Hashtag Big Black Hobbits. Great episode. New question. What's the biggest vehicle you ever owned? Just Fun Guitar from England.
Ooh.
With the question. Biggest vehicle we've ever owned. Well, I think I know what it is. Are we talking about just me and you together? Probably. So in our life together, biggest vehicle we ever owned actually would be a Ford F-250 crew cab.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
We had I bought this F-250, which F-250 is like the heavy duty one. On an F-150, this is like a half-ton truck for pulling some trailers. I bought it from my mom because they had already used it, and it was not quite on its last legs, but it was kind of on its last legs when we bought it. Yeah, but it was a big truck.
Yeah.
Very comfortable to sit in, leather seats. It was nice on the inside, but we kept having some engine problems after we bought it. But it was definitely big and heavy, and you could pull the brakes off of stuff with it. I mean, it was geared for pulling trailers. So that's the biggest, probably, and I consider that heaviest kind of goes into that as well.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
We have an Avalanche, a Chevy Avalanche, that's probably as big or long as that Ford F-250. Not as heavy duty though.
No.
So it's not as big, beefy. Since we've been together.
Yeah.
Biggest vehicles for sure. What about your parents?
I think that's about
growing up.
His dad usually had. I think he had an F-250. We had an extended cab truck there for a while, into my senior year of high school into my freshman year of college, and it was a pretty good sized truck.
It wasn't four-door though, was it?
No.
Was that the one with the camper on it that he had, the matching camper? I remember that when we dated. I was like, I got a silver Ford with a silver topper on it.
That was his favorite truck. He loved that truck. For years and years and years, they had that, and it started, going down like all vehicles.
Yeah,
do.
eventually all vehicles were out.
The maintenance on it just wasn't worth it.
Except for 78.
And plus, all of us kids grew up, and he didn't really work on land, so he didn't need to have a truck. So they got a van after that. But yeah, we had a Ford Bronco there for a while, which was nice because it had the removable back to it, so it looked like a Jeep. It had the bars on the top, the rumble or tumble bars or roll bars or whatever.
Roll bars. Rumble strips.
So yeah, but that was about it because most of the time we had just little Ranger type trucks.
Yeah.
Little
mini trucks.
Putt type and a minivan. We had a couple minivans growing up.
Biggest one that my family as a kid owned, we had an RV. My dad had an RV. It was big. If you watched The Walking Dead, remember season 1, what was the guy's name? He had that RV.
Yeah.
It was one of those. It was not fancy.
I forgot him.
It was used. Yeah, he died.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
At the farm.
But yeah, it was because this was probably 1990-ish, and so we probably had an 82 big old long RV, probably 30-foot something RV, So that was biggest, and you would all pile into it and drive somewhere and go camping or whatever. So that was technically the biggest one that my family as a kid at least had. So
yeah, we never had stuff like that.
My dad, he always buys old ones though that are crap because they're cheap. He's had a couple of fifth wheels, which you pull behind your truck, campers. He never gets the good ones though, but
yeah.
So anyways, yeah, there you go. Biggest vehicle. We never owned any boats. We never had a boat. anything like that. So, great question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just Fine Guitar. The question should be, what's the fastest vehicle you've ever owned? But
Ooh.
we'll talk about that later. All right, next question. J.R. Baker. I'm assuming it's J.R. because if it was Junior Baker, it'd be J lowercase r period.
Right.
J.R. Baker. What do you think about Epiphone? I actually liked him better than Gibson. Hashtag Giant Black Hobbits. Hashtag racist. Hashtag Davy Crockett. All right.
Because we talked about.
Oh yeah. We talked about
Tolkien
in the snow. Yeah.
White Lord of the Rings.
White Lord of the Rings.
I think.
I guess so. I like Epiphone. Well, we actually have 2 Epiphones. That's an Epiphone. That's my camo Zach Epi, and this is Angela's sparkly blue Epiphone from the mid 2000s.
Yeah, we've had for a while now.
Made in Korea. They're both Korean Epiphones. So they're great. I had a black Epiphone Les Paul that I bought. Oh man, like somewhere like maybe my first year of college or when I was a senior in high school, I traded one in, and I cannot locate that anywhere nor remember what happened to it. But I loved that one. I didn't love it enough where I would have like held on to it. But it was, trans black burst, flame top, black hardware, black pickups, black, I have a random picture somewhere. I keep digging through it. And every now and then, like, that's when I had my hair was not long, but bleached blonde, and we were playing over at that place with Wally. And
that's
I had it. That was the time period then. So that's when I had it.
Okay.
So I think I missed that guitar so bad, and I can't even find it. It was like a Guitar Center exclusive in like 1996. You could only get it in Guitar Center, and it was really cool. Can't find one anywhere. And I'm like, oh man. I think what happened was when I started playing in a band, I started playing drums, and I needed some cases, like, because we were gigging, like traveling, driving all over Texas and Louisiana, and went to Missouri, and I didn't have cases for my really nice drums. I think, and this just occurred to me like a couple of months ago, I was like, maybe when I got those cases, because I was broke as crap, I might have traded that guitar in on those cases, because they're kind of expensive drum cases. So I'm thinking. I have zero recollection of that happening, but I think that logically kind of makes sense and would probably be like why I did that at the time.
Yeah.
But I love that one. And they're great, They're great. They're definitely a budget-friendly alternative to getting a real Gibson Les Paul. I mean, they're Les Pauls.
Legit.
They're Les Pauls, obviously, because it has Les Paul's name on it.
Yeah.
Licensed. But they're all right. Now, if you hate Gibson, like some people do, but maybe you want to play that style of guitar. This is a ESP LTD. There it is. The EC1000T, 1000T for traditional. That's what that means, and it is basically spec'd the same as a Les Paul. The normal EC, 256 or EC400s or EC1000s from LTD are usually thinner bodies. It's a lot of times 24 frets. So even though they're single cuts, they're not really a copy. They're not really a Les Paul. But if you get an EC1000T, it's got to have say T. And that one's this EC1000T CTM for custom. It's basically that. This is basically a 70s Les Paul custom.
Yeah. Made
by ESP in Korea. So
cool.
And if you hate ESP, a great option would be the PRS SE 245. The 245 is actually super close to the Gibson scaling, because the Gibson scaling is not really 24 3/4.
I just think it's silly. If you don't like,
if you hate those corporate overlords, if you hate these corporate overlords, and you like these corporate overlords, but if you hate these corporate overlords, you can go to these corporate overlords, which these are actually pretty nice corporate overlords, I have to say. As far as big business corporate overlords go, PRS is probably okay.
Right.
Everybody else, it's all about the Benjamins. All right. Thank you, J.R. Baker. Next question, tactical 6-string. Hey guys, Ryan, EMG wiring harnesses seem to all come with 2 volume and 1 tone. I'm assuming I can just use 1 volume and tone and leave the second volume pot out of the mix fairly easily. I'm toying with replacing the pickups in my 30th anniversary PRS SE. I see you. I see sniffles.
Yeah.
It's allergy season in Texas. Still, I see you have a PRS, 30th anniversary. I do. I like it a lot. Don't mind the stock ones, but I really want the 5766, and mine needs a kick in the arse to make me want to play it more. And can I use the three-way that's on my SE? Again, most SE has a toggle versus three-way switch. Hashtag RNA's wagon the way. Oh, RNA swag on the way. It's hard, when there's not spaces. RNA's wagon the way. RNA's wagon. We did have a grocery getter. We did have a station wagon when I was a kid.
We did too.
RNA swag.
That was my first car I drove.
On the way. We had an old, with an 8-track player in it.
Nice.
Do you have an 8-track in y'all's grocery getter? We had an 8-track, vintage. RNA swag on the way. All right. Yes. Okay, great. So it depends. You should have no problem, right? Because usually the EMGs, if you've looked, I don't know if you bought them yet or not, but they have wiring diagrams, and you can go to EMG's website, and they'll tell you, like, hey, you want to have 1 volume, 1 tone, 2 volumes, 1 tone, 1 volume, 2 tones, 2 volumes, 2 tones. They give you all of the different wiring options, and nowadays it's pretty super easy. Like, you have a little hub, a wiring harness, and everything just sort of plugs in. That is exactly how wiring should work for guitars. Super easy, barely any inconvenience, hardly any soldering involved. So, yeah, you can definitely do 1 volume, 1 tone. Now, most of the packs I buy from EMGs, the 5766, will come with 2 volume pots and 2 tone pots. But you can just leave those out if you want to. You should be able to use the little 3-way switch, the 3-way selector. That shouldn't be a problem. And there's a part on the hub where the wires from the switch. Now you'll have to not unsolder them from the switch, but you could probably just cut them from where they go, and then you have to wire them into the hub that the pickups are wired into. That's hard to explain without showing pictures.
Right.
But yes, short answer, you should be able to use your 3-way toggle switch, no problem, easy peasy, and yeah, you can totally just do 1 volume, 1 tone. No big deal. I have stock pickups in my 30th anniversary SE, and stock pickups in that SE, and stock pickups in my S2. I keep thinking about swapping them. I do need to swap the pots in my S2 because there's some crackly stuff going on that is not dust
I was thinking the word crackly.
Cracklins. I got some cracklins in my
So funny.
S2 that is not just cleaning them with contact cleaner, because I've tried that. So I need to replace the pots in my S2. I've considered like throwing some EMGs in there, just because I don't love PRS's pickups. I don't hate them. They're just like, they're okay.
Yeah.
They're okay. They're not bad. They're not amazing, but they're not bad.
Right.
So it's kind of one of those like, well, do I really want to go to the work to put some other stuff in there, and then maybe at some point put it back to stock? I don't know. I don't know. All right. Oh, and actually, that was the last question.
Yeah.
I forgot, because we already did comment of the day. Yeah. Final question. Tactical 6-string. Thank you for the question. And that's it. And it's time for secret hashtag of the day, because if you watch this entire video from beginning to end, somebody's here.
Hurry.
Hashtag, I don't know. What is it?
Angela's Bandit.
Hashtag Angela's Bandit. If you type that with your question or comment below, if you watch this entire thing, we'll know you watched it. Thank you so much. And leave us a question for next week. We'll try to answer it. And until then, keep the music alive.
Don't forget it.
Music needs you.
And you need the music.
And we need to keep it alive for all the bandits coming up and wanting to play music.
That's right.
And we'll see you next time. It's Friday. The shop's open. Customers are coming in.
Here we go.
So excited.
Let's get to work.
Bandit.